Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Bonnie back and welcome back to my channel, Just Bonnie Productive. It is a Sunday night in Perth and wet, but it's drying out. Why do I have to say the weather? Jesus, I'm not a weather girl. Okay, I'm going to tell you some creepy and haunted stories that I have. I have done a night tour on my third date with my boyfriend Steven, and I didn't know if it was a good idea because I thought he could be saying that yeah he likes that, but I wasn't really sure if he wanted to come at night time to Fremantle prison with me. But oh boy, he enjoyed it. He likes creepy crime stories just like me, and we had fun. It was 2 or 1 hour, something like that tour. And they gave us torches. We had to walk a lot in the group at night, and they were taking us from a cell to cell at night and explaining to us who stayed there, which sexual predators and bank robbers, and which were the isolation cells, and why people stayed who were at risk of self-harm in the isolation cell, or if they were in too much danger, and kind of like witness protection in prison. So they stayed at the isolation cell if they were in danger of other prisoners, if they were testifying with against somebody or something like that. And we were standing there innocently listening to the stories, and oh boy, a doll that looks like a ghost fell above our head and screamed, "Ah!" In the middle of the creepy stories. I shat my pants, almost literally, but not literally. And everybody laughed, and we were like, ha 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 ha. But in the moment when that happens, when a doll falls above your head in Fremantle prison, which is now a tourist destination, but it used to be a real prison and it has real cells. And yeah, it's something that does not happen during the day, a doll falling like that. And so we kept on going with the tour, we laughed it off, we kept on going. And we were standing in front of one cell, and all of a sudden this guy comes out of the cell acting as he's doing time in there and saying what he did. And he's like, "I'm gonna hurt all of you." And we were like, yeah, you're just an actor. But he was trying so hard to convince us that he was real. And as we were going and going, we have spent time in the dark outside. When you're actually in the prison cell, you can hardly see the moon, the stars, or anything like that outside in the courtyard. In the courtyard, the prisoners used to exercise in there, do hard prison work, eat, and just stuff like that, but only if they were in the isolation, then they didn't have to go to the courtyard. So the courtyard was the place where they kept them under control and active and stuff like that. Everybody has human rights, but once you're in prison, some of those human rights are taken away from you, and you have to be back in your cell by a certain time, even if you do work. Most prisoners were encouraged to work in Fremantle prison, and there were even physical punishments for those who didn't obey the rules. They would be strapped with their hands up like that, and somebody would be strapping them with a belt after 18 times, and they had to count. So it was easier for the prisoners to just obey the rules. And they haven't even taken us to the execution room. I felt sick in there. I did not like it in there. I went to stand near the door. It's so stuffy, and you just feel like something is so wrong when you're in the execution room. And I believe somebody did get executed in Fremantle prison, but those kinds of things are not legal in Australia at the moment, I think. I'm not sure, but as we went along with the tour, that was really creepy. And then another doll flew across the hallway, and I screamed again. And I thought, they're not going to trick me. I'm not going to scream anymore. I'm not scared of ghosts, fake ghosts, that is. They told me that Fremantle night tour is haunted, so why do I even scream? But guess what? Bonnie had to scream. I was just horrified, and I was just like, ah, but that's the fun. Sometimes you gotta scream at unpredictable things. And there's so many flaws in the prison. Some of the prisoners who were in Fremantle prison back in the history, before I came to Australia in 1995, they're doing time in Kwinana prison. They have escaped Fremantle prison and robbed more banks, and now they have rearrested them and they're doing time in the Kwinana prison. And I'm like, they're still there? And some prisoners have served their time who have done really great art at Fremantle prison. They have served time, and now they're out in the community. They're former sexual predators. Not cool to know that they're out in the community. And the prison is huge. I mean, huge. They had a lot of time and to move around, and they had their own cells at least. And towards the end, get this, a second actor comes out. He's like, I've been in this cell for 2 years. For 2 years. I want to get the fuck out of here. We had to laugh. He was so serious, and he was putting on his acts, trying to convince us that he was really in there for that long. And he's like, you know what my life is like. You know what my life is like. I've been in the prison for 2 years and I've got another 10 to go. Take me out, he said. It's okay, he will get out after his shift. He finishes the acting role and he will get out. And so many groups go through the Fremantle prison. The guys who were serving time in Fremantle prison, it wasn't easy for them. It was a hard prison to serve time in, and they did not know that there was going to become a touristy destination place in Perth, Western Australia one day. But it is now. So if you come to Perth, Fremantle, which is side of the river, visit Fremantle prison. And at night is when all the dolls fall above your head and actors come out from prison cells. And it is just so creepy and extra scary at night. I have done the day tour. It was interesting because I like history, but it's not as good as the night tours. The night tours are just extra spooky and extra exciting, and there is one that you can go underneath and actually see the tunnels. Now that is cool. I do not like the physical punishment of prisoners when they were showing us the machines, how they belted them, ta-da-da-da-da. That's not the way to resolve the rule of law, and I do not like the execution room. But I don't know, maybe somebody else would. Maybe somebody else would like it. So if you're not scared of spooky stuff, if that excites you, go to Fremantle prison at night time. And let me know below if you liked it or not, and if you were scared like me. I get scared easily. I think that I don't, and I believe that I don't, but I do. Sometimes I can scream way too easily, even if I know that it's just a doll that's falling above my head, but it's just something falling above my head in a prison. It did not make me feel good. I was like, ah. My boyfriend cracked up laughing because I screamed, and I think some other people were screaming too in the group, but I was just like, bang, it fell right above my head. Not cool. I don't think the prisoners in there ate very nice food. They were not treated very well. But they committed a crime. Everybody who goes in there has empathy for people who stayed in there because it looks so bad. But they committed a crime. I mean, we gotta remember that at the end of the day. Okay, that is my spooky Fremantle prison story. I will say, don't forget to thumbs up my video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ciao Bella, have a good night, bye bye.